Most Mercedes owners use maybe 10% of what their car can do, even after years behind the wheel. Your Mercedes has features buried in menus most owners never find by accident. We already covered the first batch of hidden functions. Today we go deeper into things Mercedes never highlights in the manual. No dealer walkthrough covers half of this. 10 features. Nobody knows they exist. Some are pure convenience. Others are safety systems working right now, whether you know it or not. Let's count down. Number 10. Remote engine start and cabin preconditioning through the Mercedes Me app. Most owners open the Mercedes Me app just to check fuel level. Buried inside is a remote start function that warms or cools the cabin before you touch the door handle. You set a target temperature, and the system wakes the climate control and defrost grid remotely. It runs off the same telematics module that already talks to the car around the clock. Nothing new to install. No extra hardware, no dealership visit, no subscription add-on. The system draws just enough power to run the compressor and blower without needing the engine to idle the whole time. According to Mercedes-Benz telematics documentation, remote preconditioning can run for up to 30 minutes per activation before shutting off automatically to protect the battery. Long enough for even the coldest morning, but not so long it drains anything you'd notice. That's enough time to fully defrost a windshield or cool a hot cabin before you even open the door. It works in reverse during a heat wave too, cooling the cabin from the app while you're still finishing up inside a store. An office manager named Renee in Denver found the feature by accident, scrolling the app during a January cold snap. She wasn't even looking for anything, just killing time between meetings. She had owned the car for almost 3 years and never noticed the tab. She started tapping it from her desk 10 minutes before leaving work. At first she checked the app twice, half expecting nothing to happen. By the time she reached the parking lot, the windshield was clear and the seats were warm. Even the steering wheel had lost its usual morning chill. She's since started using it before every cold drive, not just the freezing ones. No more scraping ice in a work coat. No more standing in the cold with a scraper while the car idles. No more driving the first 5 minutes half blind through a fogged windshield. She figures she saves close to 10 minutes every freezing morning. Time she used to spend standing outside with a scraper. It also means she's never tempted to pull out with a half-cleared windshield just to get moving faster, something she used to do constantly before finding the feature. Her husband now uses it on their second Mercedes too. He'd owned his car even longer than she'd owned hers, and still never found the tab. He had assumed the app was only good for checking the fuel gauge. Enable location services and remote start permissions in the app settings, and the option appears under the climate tab. It works from anywhere with a signal, not just your own driveway. That's convenient. Number 9 hides 3 menus deeper. Rollers. Light. A rhythm most owners have never felt. Number 9. Energizing. Comfort wellness programs. Inside the comfort menu sits a feature called Energizing Comfort. It combines seat massage patterns, ambient lighting shifts, and specific climate settings into short programs. Names like warmth, freshness, joy, and vitality. 4 moods. 4 completely different sequences. Each one targets a different physical or mental state, not just temperature. Each program runs a set sequence lasting several minutes. The massage rollers cycle through patterns most owners have never felt. The button sits 2 menus deeper than basic seat controls. According to Mercedes-Benz Wellness System documentation, the programs were developed alongside sports medicine researchers to target muscle tension from long periods of sitting. Real research, not a marketing gimmick bolted onto a seat cushion, a very different design goal than a vibrating aftermarket cushion. The lighting shifts aren't random either. Each color transition is timed to the massage sequence so the whole thing feels coordinated. A physical therapist named Devin in Austin had owned his Mercedes for 2 years without realizing the seats had a massage function. He'd spent 2 years treating other people's back pain and ignoring his own. Long shifts on his feet left his lower back tight every evening commute. He tried the Vitality program on a whim during a bad flare-up. The rolling massage paired with the shifting light noticeably loosened the stiffness by the time he got home. He now runs it after every 12-hour shift. Some days it's Vitality, other days he switches to warmth without thinking about why. He says it's the difference between arriving home tense and arriving home able to relax. His wife noticed the change before he ever mentioned the feature to her. He's recommended the warmth program to patients who mention long commutes during sessions. A few even came back the next week to say it actually helped. 2 coworkers who also drive Mercedes never knew the seats did anything beyond heat and cooling. Open the comfort menu, tap Energizing Comfort, and pick the mood that fits your day. Each program takes about 5 minutes, short enough to run on almost any drive. Hit the subscribe button now if this is new to you. Number 8 could save you $150, right where your mirror meets the ceiling. Number 8, HomeLink garage door. Programming hidden in the mirror. A universal transceiver called HomeLink is built into the overhead console near the mirror. It stores up to 3 codes for garage doors, security gates, or community access points. 3 slots, and most owners have never used even one. Most owners assume that button strip is just for interior lights. According to Mercedes-Benz accessory documentation, the HomeLink transceiver works with most rolling code garage systems made after the mid-1990s. That's essentially every system installed in the last 3 decades. That covers nearly every home garage door in the country. It can also control smart gate locks or exterior lighting. Not just garage doors, if your system shares the same wireless protocol. A retired postal worker named Walter in Sacramento lost his physical garage remote. He'd torn apart the garage looking for it, no luck. He was one phone call away from ordering a $150 replacement. A neighbor mentioned his Mercedes could already do the job for free. Walter was skeptical, having driven the car 6 years without touching those buttons. He held the 2 small buttons near the mirror while pointing his old remote at the sensor. The system synced the frequency in under 5 minutes. He hasn't carried a separate garage clicker since. His old remote now just sits in a kitchen drawer, unused. The same slot now opens the gate at his community pool too. One less thing rattling around the console, one less thing to lose. He's since programmed a 3rd code for his son's gated community. No more calling ahead, no more waiting at the gate for someone to buzz him in. No more separate visitor pass every time he drives over. He tells his neighbors those ignored buttons were sitting right there the whole time. Hold the programming buttons on the mirror module while pressing your existing remote, and the console light blinks to confirm the sync. No dealership visit, no extra hardware, just 5 minutes at the mirror. That one saved money. Number 7 could save you from a very different bill, one that shows up while your car never left the garage. Number 7. Hidden Valet Mode. A pin-protected setting called Valet Mode limits top speed, caps engine RPM, and locks both the trunk and glove box. It also hides recent navigation destinations from anyone driving the car. Everything about your habits stays private. It blocks access to stored contacts and call history too. According to Mercedes-Benz security documentation, Valet Mode disables the trunk release button entirely. Not hidden, not password guessable, simply unreachable. Even a valet holding the physical key can't open what you've locked away. The capped top speed makes a joyride impractical, without making the car undrivable for a short parking run. A small business owner named Priya in Raleigh handed her keys to a hotel valet, same as always. She travels for work often enough that valet parking barely registers anymore. A toll charge appeared on her linked account that same night for a road nearly 40 miles from the hotel. She realized the valet had taken the car for an unauthorized joyride before returning it. Nothing was damaged, but the thought unsettled her for weeks. She kept picturing someone else behind her wheel, on roads she never chose. She now sets a 4-digit PIN and activates Valet Mode anytime her keys leave her hand. No exceptions anymore, not even for people she trusts. Hotel, mechanic, or family member borrowing the car, it doesn't matter which. She says the 30 seconds it takes is worth every bit of peace of mind. It takes less time than she spent explaining that toll charge to her bank. Go into vehicle settings, create your PIN, and toggle Valet Mode on before handing your keys to anyone you don't fully trust. The whole setup takes less time than filling out a valet ticket. Some threats come from people. Number 6 comes from something you can't see at all, until your car sees it first. Number 6. Exit warning. Flashing the door trim before you open it. A rear-facing radar continuously scans behind and beside your Mercedes, even for a short window after the engine shuts off. If a cyclist or car is approaching as you reach for the handle, the interior trim flashes red and the system chimes. Red light, sharp chime, impossible to miss. The radar can pick up movement from several car lengths away, well beyond what your mirrors or a quick glance would catch. According to Mercedes-Benz safety system documentation, exit warning stays active for a set window after the ignition turns off. Even after you've parked, even after the engine's gone quiet, it keeps watching. Most door-related bicycle collisions happen right after a car has just parked, not while it's still moving. That timing is exactly why so few drivers connect the flash to the actual danger. An elementary school teacher named Camille in Columbus parked on a busy street during pickup line. The same routine, the same spot, day after day. As she reached for the door without a second thought, the trim flashed red and the chime sounded. A cyclist passed within a second, someone she hadn't seen in her mirror at all. Her hand froze on the handle before she'd even processed the chime. She's never opened a car door without checking that light since. She thought it was some kind of low battery warning the first time she saw it. Now it's the first thing she checks before her kids even unbuckle in the back. She tells other parents in the pickup line about it too. Word spread fast through the school parking lot. More than one admitted to the same reckless rush out the door. The system arms itself automatically, no settings to dig through. You only need to notice the flash and pause before pushing the door open. A half-second pause is all it asks of you. That warning came from behind the car. Number 5 warns you about something ahead, before your headlights even reach it. Number 5. Digital light, projecting symbols onto the road itself. The LED headlight system on newer Mercedes models projects crosswalk lines, lane markers, or warning symbols onto the pavement. Tiny mirror arrays inside the headlight housing adjust the pattern in real time, based on navigation data and the forward camera. Two data streams working together, updating in real time. The projection can shift lanes, widen a crosswalk marking, or throw a caution symbol onto the road, well before a physical road sign would catch your eye. According to Mercedes-Benz lighting documentation, the digital light array holds over 1 million individually controlled micro mirrors per headlight, more mirrors than most people have pixels on an old TV screen. That resolution keeps the projected pattern sharp even on uneven pavement. It's also what lets the system draw crisp lane guidance through a construction zone shift. A rural veterinarian named Tariq in Boise drives unlit backroads at night for emergency farm calls that come at all hours on roads with no streetlights at all. Routes he's driven 100 times before. One evening, his headlights projected a construction warning symbol before he'd consciously registered the actual road sign. That extra second gave him time to ease off the accelerator before the lane narrowed around a blind bend. His truck's headlights had never shown him anything like it before. He first assumed it was a physical road marking painted fresh that week. It took a full week before he realized the markings only appeared under his own headlights. He now watches projected symbols the same way he watches his mirrors. It's become second nature, another input he trusts without thinking twice, especially on unfamiliar routes at night. He says the strangest part is realizing how much the car has quietly been showing him all along. The projection activates automatically at night. Nothing to turn on, only something worth noticing. It's been drawing on the road under you for years. Most drivers just never look down. Projected light warns you about the road. Number 4 slows the car down before you even see the curve, without you ever touching the brake. Number 4, route-based speed. Adaptation. Standard adaptive cruise only reacts to the car in front of you. Route-based speed. Adaptation cross-references live GPS curvature data with the radar system. It gently brakes the car before a sharp curve or roundabout, whether or not another vehicle is nearby. The system reads the road ahead the way an experienced driver would. It knows the curve is coming before you even see it, anticipating a curve rather than just reacting to it. According to Mercedes-Benz driver assistance documentation, the system pulls curvature data from the same digital map used for navigation. The same map guiding your route is quietly guiding your speed too, updated regularly and covering most paved roads, not just highways. That means it works just as well on a rural coastal road as on a highway on-ramp. A freelance photographer named Hannah in Savannah drives winding coastal roads constantly for shoots, scouting locations, chasing golden hour, always on the move, often the same stretch several times a week. She noticed the car easing off the speed smoothly before a blind curve she'd always braked for manually, sometimes later than she meant to. Her mechanic pointed out that her front pads were wearing every 18,000 miles instead of the usual 30,000. Late, harsh braking on that same stretch was the cause. Since the car started braking early on its own, that wear pattern evened out. Even her rotors looked better than the year before. Her last inspection came back with pads well within normal range. He pulled up the old service records just to double-check the numbers. Her mechanic asked what she'd changed about her driving. The wear looked nothing like it had the year before. Enable adaptive cruise with navigation linked, and the system handles curve speed on its own from there. No extra setting to hunt for, it rides along with cruise control by default. If this one caught you off guard, hit that like button right now. Share this with a Mercedes owner who still brakes into every curve by hand. That system slows you down in daylight. Number 3 sees in complete darkness, better than your own eyes ever could. Number 3, night view. Assist. An infrared camera mounted separately from the headlights detects heat signatures beyond where your beams actually shine. People and animals appear outlined on the instrument cluster in yellow or red, depending on how close they are to your path. Yellow means notice, red means react. The system works independently of your headlight setting, scanning even on low beams in town. According to Mercedes-Benz Night View documentation, the infrared camera can detect a heat signature up to roughly 160 meters ahead. That's well over a football field and a half of advance warning, well beyond the range of even high beams on a dark road. That distance buys several extra seconds of reaction time at highway speed, often the exact difference between a hard swerve and a controlled slowdown. A night shift ER nurse named Lewis in Baltimore was driving home exhausted after a 12-hour shift, the kind of tired where every mile blurs into the next. On an unlit stretch he's driven hundreds of times. The cluster display flashed a highlighted outline of a deer near the tree line, well before his headlights would have revealed it. He eased off the gas early and the deer never stepped toward the road. His headlights hadn't reached the tree line yet when the cluster flagged it. He's kept the display enabled on every drive home since. It's a habit now, as automatic as buckling his seatbelt, especially after back-to-back night shifts when his reaction time runs slowest. He now glances at the cluster on every dark drive out of habit, the same way he checks his mirrors before changing lanes. He calls it having a second set of eyes, watching exactly when his own were least reliable. Check your instrument cluster settings for the night view option, since it isn't switched on by default on some trims. Once it's on, it stays on, quietly scanning every dark mile. Night view shows you what's hiding in the dark. Number 2 listens to you, and somehow knows exactly what you mean. Number 2, natural voice climate requests through Mbox. The voice assistant doesn't require exact command phrases the way older systems did. Saying something as simple as "I'm cold" is enough for the system to adjust seat heat, airflow, and cabin temperature on its own. Instead of forcing the driver to think like a computer, the system is designed to understand how people naturally speak in everyday conversations. It reads the discomfort behind the sentence instead of waiting for a rigid command. That means the focus stays on what you mean rather than the exact words you choose to say. No memorized phrase, no exact wording required. Even if your wording changes from one day to the next, the system is built to recognize the same underlying request. According to Mercedes-Benz voice assistant documentation, the natural language system was trained on thousands of real-world phrasings for the same request. Those examples came from the kinds of expressions people actually use instead of carefully rehearsed commands. Thousands of ways to say the same thing, and it catches nearly all of them. That broad language training is what makes conversations with the system feel surprisingly natural. That's why it recognizes casual sentences instead of only fixed command words. The assistant listens for intent instead of matching every sentence to a single predefined script. It can tell it's freezing in here and I'm cold apart, and still respond with the same adjustment. It also understands that different people describe the same discomfort in completely different ways. Someone else might simply mutter, "Can we warm this place up?" and receive the same result. An urban planner named Grace in Minneapolis used to fumble with climate buttons while merging through city traffic. Her morning commute often demanded constant attention as traffic shifted around her, both hands busy, eyes darting between the road and the console. Every glance toward the controls took her attention away from the vehicles moving around her, often glancing down at exactly the wrong moment. She knew those brief distractions added up over time, especially during stressful traffic. She started just saying she was cold out loud, half expecting nothing to happen. She wasn't testing the technology as much as speaking out of habit during another chilly drive. The seat heater and vents adjusted within a couple of seconds, no buttons touched. The change happened quickly enough that she barely had time to wonder whether the system had even heard her. She actually laughed out loud the first time it worked. It felt less like issuing a command and more like having someone quietly respond to a simple request. That freed her attention for the road instead of the dashboard. Instead of searching for buttons, she could stay focused on the traffic unfolding ahead, especially during white-knuckle merges downtown at rush hour. Those are exactly the situations where every second of attention matters most. She hasn't manually touched a climate control since. The habit disappeared almost immediately because speaking felt easier than reaching for a button. Her hands stay on the wheel now, exactly where they should be. She says the experience quickly became second nature after only a few drives. She now talks to the car the way she'd talk to a passenger riding shotgun. The conversations feel casual enough that she no longer thinks about using a voice assistant at all. She jokes it understands her mood better some mornings than her coworkers do. The comment always gets a laugh, but she admits there's some truth behind it. She's taught her teenage son the same trick, and he talks to his own car the same way now. He picked it up almost immediately without needing to memorize any commands or instructions. Her only regret is not discovering it years earlier. She'd assumed the voice assistant only understood strict commands. Just talk to the car the way you would talk to a passenger, and let it interpret what you need. No wake phrase to memorize, no rigid script to follow. That feature reads what you say. Number 1 reads a crash before it happens, faster than any human ever could. Number 1, pre-safe, anticipatory protection. Sensors across the car constantly scan for signs of an unavoidable collision, cross-referencing radar, camera, and stability data dozens of times per second. The instant the system calculates a high probability of impact, it acts, tightening seatbelts, closing windows and sunroof, repositioning the front seats into a safer posture. 3 separate actions, 1 instant, all before a human driver could physically react. The entire sequence happens in a fraction of a second, faster than the time it takes to blink or brace on instinct. According to Mercedes-Benz safety engineering documentation, pre-safe has been standard across most of the lineup for years. Standard equipment, quietly present, never advertised on the window sticker, running quietly in the background of nearly every trip, without an owner ever activating it manually. The system doesn't wait for impact to confirm anything. It acts purely on probability, which is exactly why it moves faster than any human reflex. Everything else on this list is something you choose to use. This is the one thing quietly protecting you whether you open a single menu or not. A long-haul sales rep named Samuel in Tulsa was rear-ended at a red light. Stopped, waiting for the light, no warning at all. A driver who never braked at all, going what witnesses estimated at nearly 40 miles per hour. He felt his seatbelt cinched tight and heard the windows shut a split second before impact, a sensation he says he'll never forget. He walked away with only minor bruising across his chest and shoulder. The paramedics on scene were surprised he'd walked away at all. His doctor later told him that tightened belt likely prevented a broken collarbone, given the force involved in the collision. Samuel says he now drives a little more relaxed. The tension he used to carry in traffic has mostly faded, knowing something is quietly watching for the one moment he can't watch for himself. Pre-safe runs automatically, no setup required. There's no button, no menu, no toggle, it's simply always on. But knowing it exists means understanding why your car sometimes reacts a heartbeat before you do. Hey, thanks for watching. If you found even one of these useful, let us know in the comments which function surprised you the most. Half the fun of making these is reading which one nobody in the comments already knew about. Want to see the first 10 secret functions we uncovered before this one? Click the video on your left, and if you don't want to miss the next batch, hit that subscribe button.